Okay, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty significant, building an outdoor living space. A deck.
Yeah.
And look, it's not just about slapping some wood together, is it? It's about really extending your home, boosting its value. But, and this is the big but, only if it's built to actually, survive the elements year after year.
Absolutely. And when you look at what the certified pros are saying, the sources we dug into, the message is really clear. The bones of that deck, its strength, how long it'll last, that all comes down to choices made right at the start, like way before construction.
Right. So our mission today really is to give you that expert shortcut. We want to walk you through the big decisions, materials, the design, the whole process. What are these certified teams doing differently? How do they build a deck that's meant to last, not just look good for a season?
Yeah, we'll definitely unpack those modern materials, composite, vinyl, they're game changers, and we'll go step by step through the 5 key phases of building it right, the goal, to figure out how you get that mix of function, style, and rock-solid structure.
Okay, let's start right there. Durability. You said it's non-negotiable. For a deck to really be an asset for, say, decades, what's the absolute core thing that needs to be right?
Well, the foundation, fundamentally, is picking materials and a design that are built for your specific climate. Whether you've got tons of rain, heavy snow, or just brutal sun, that resistance has to be baked in from the beginning. Experts are always trying to find that sweet spot, function, style, structure, all working together.
So it's really about engineering it for survival, not just picking out nice colors. And the sources, they were really strong on this. This needs certified teams. Why is that professional oversight so critical for making it last?
Because those early decisions, how you manage drainage, where the footings go, how the materials handle moisture, that determines almost everything down the line. It's really not the place to cut corners. A certified team, they look ahead, they anticipate problems like bad grading or maybe unstable ground near the foundation, issues that can cause a deck to fail completely years later.
That makes sense. Avoid the problems before they even start. Okay, let's unpack the materials then. Because the conversation seems to have really shifted. It's less about traditional wood now and much more towards these modern options, right? Composite and vinyl seem to be everywhere in the sources. Why the big shift?
A lot of it comes down to maintenance, or really the lack of it. Composite decking is a big one. It gives you that wood look, which people love, but without that relentless maintenance cycle. The staining, the sealing, the sanding every couple of years, it's gone.
That sounds like a massive time saver. Huge. Yeah. But I know composite costs more upfront than, say, pressure-treated lumber. Is that initial hit worth it?
That's where the expert analysis really comes in handy. Yes, composite might be, maybe 3 times the initial cost, but the sources suggest you often break even in about 7 years.
7 years? How?
Well, you factor in what you don't spend each year on maintenance, the sealant, the stain, your time, or paying someone else to do it. Over a 20-year lifespan, composite often ends up being the cheapo path, and definitely less hassle.
That's a really compelling argument for the long game.
Yeah.
What else about composites? We hear they're eco-friendly sometimes.
They often are, yeah. Many use recycled stuff, plastics, wood fibers, so it's a greener choice. Plus, they're super resistant to fading, cracking, rot, things that plague wood. Aesthetically, you get consistency, same color, same texture, which wood can't promise. And crucially, they generally have a better, more reliable, slip-resistant surface.
Okay, but I have to push back a bit here.
Yeah.
A common complaint is heat, right? Composites get really hot in the sun.
That's a totally valid point. And yeah, it's a definite trade-off, especially if your deck gets blasted by sun all day. Darker colors absorb and radiate more heat than wood does, significantly more sometimes.
So what do you do?
It's something you absolutely have to plan for in phase 2, the design phase. Choosing lighter composite colors helps a lot. Or you need to design in shade, pergolas, awnings, strategic planting. It's about managing comfort during the design.
Got it. Plan for the heat. Okay, let's switch gears to vinyl decking. The sources really hammer home one thing with vinyl: unbeatable waterproofing. That sounds different from composites' focus on surface wear.
It is different because vinyl is solving a slightly different core problem. The magic is in the installation. It's seamless. Think of it like this. A traditional deck, wood or composite, has gaps between boards, around screws, hundreds of tiny spots for water to get in. Seamless vinyl. It acts more like a custom-fit heavy-duty shower liner for your deck.
And a giant shower liner. I like that.
Yeah.
So basically, water just hits it and rolls right off. It never even touches the structure underneath.
Exactly. It forms this continuous watertight barrier. It protects the joists, the beams, the actual skeleton of the deck from water getting in, and even from UV damage. And moisture and UV, those are the main things that cause wood structures to rot and fail over time.
Okay, that seamless protection sounds amazing, especially for rainy places or tricky spots like balconies, rooftop decks. But here's a question. If it's truly seamless, what if you need to get underneath later for, say, a structural check or a repair? Does seamless mean sealed forever?
That's a really important practical question, and professional installers have methods for this. While it is sealed to be watertight, it's not like it's encased in concrete. Skilled installers, especially those certified in systems like Duradek, can carefully cut access points, peel back sections, do the work needed underneath, and then re-weld or reseal that same area seamlessly. It takes specialized skill, absolutely, but it's designed to be serviceable.
Okay, that's reassuring. So it's not impossible, just needs the right expertise. So to recap the materials, composite is about looks and low surface maintenance.
Right.
While vinyl is laser focused on protecting the underlying structure with waterproofing.
Precisely. And we should probably just quickly mention the others the sources touched on. Natural wood, cedar, redwood still has that classic appeal for some, but you're signing up for lots of ongoing upkeep.
Right, constant work.
And then there's aluminum decking. Super durable, very low maintenance, but usually a higher price point again. Often seen in commercial settings or really high-end homes where longevity is the absolute top priority. So the final choice, it always comes back to that triangle, your budget, your climate, and the style you're going for.
Okay, that covers materials well. Let's talk process. If you want that 20-plus year lifespan, the way it's built has to be just as important. The sources laid out a very clear 5-phase process. Can you walk us through that? What makes this professional approach different?
Yeah, this structured approach is really what sets apart a deck that lasts from one that, well, doesn't.
Phase 1 sounds like the prep work.
Exactly. Phase 1, site evaluation. And this is more than just measuring. It's critical. The team inspects everything, the slope of the land, the existing soil conditions, and really importantly, how water drains on the property. If they spot drainage issues, they don't just build over it, they flag it. They might suggest fixing the grading first, maybe installing French drains or swales before the deck construction even starts. Why? To make sure water doesn't pool around and undermine the footings later on. A stable foundation prevents so many future headaches.
Wow, that's way more involved than just sketching a rectangle. Okay, what's phase 2? Designing it.
Phase 2, design and planning. Yep. This is where you collaborate with the team. You're choosing materials, colors, the layout. But it's also about integrating durability into the design. So balancing how you want it to look with what's structurally smart. For example, maybe they recommend a hidden fastener system. It looks cleaner, sure, but it also means fewer holes on the deck surface for water to potentially get into. It's design and function.
Phase 3, material selection. We covered that making the final call on composite, vinyl, wood, etc., based on needs. So phase 4 must be the actual building.
Phase 4, construction. This is where the plan becomes reality. And precision is everything. It covers framing the structure, meticulously installing the chosen decking, applying any waterproofing systems like vinyl membranes, and everything has to meet or exceed local building codes and safety standards. No compromises. Think about things like proper joist spacing, correct ledger board attachment to the house, ensuring adequate ventilation under the deck. Little details that make a huge difference. They use specialized tools, jigs, ensuring every cut, every angle is spot on.
Right. The execution has to match the plan and the final step.
Phase 5, final inspection. And this isn't just a quick thumbs up. It's a thorough walkthrough with you, the homeowner. They verify you're happy. They check every key structural connection one last time. They explain how to care for the deck long term, and they confirm everything's compliant. It's like the final seal of approval for safety and quality.
That detailed process really underscores the safety aspect. Beyond just looking good, the deck has to be fundamentally safe and legal. What are those absolute must-have compliance checks a pro team handles?
Well, first off, they handle the red tape, getting the permits, making sure everything follows local regulations and codes, which can be complex. And the structural checks are paramount. They obsess over things like load-bearing capacity for a reason. Deck collapses, while rare, are often catastrophic. So the assessment verifies that the framing, the connections, the support posts, everything meets, or ideally, exceeds the standards. Think codes like the IRC, the International Residential Code, as a baseline. This isn't just bureaucratic box ticking. It's about ensuring that deck can safely hold your family and friends during a gathering. It's peace of mind.
Puts it in perspective. Okay, you mentioned waterproofing systems earlier, especially with vinyl. Can you demystify that a bit? What are these materials like Duradek?
Sure. When pros talk about certified waterproofing, especially for walkable surfaces like decks, they often mean specialized membranes. Duradek is a well-known brand name for a type of PVC sheet membrane. It comes in rolls, it gets rolled out across the deck structure, and importantly, the seams where the sheets meet are heat welded together.
Heat welded.
Yeah, using special tools. It essentially fuses the seams into one continuous sheet. That's how you get that really robust, seamless, watertight barrier we discussed. It stops water getting through to the structure below.
Okay, and you mentioned liquid systems too.
Right. Liquid-applied membranes are another category. These are different. They're applied as a liquid painted or rolled on directly onto the deck's substrate. Then they cure, sort of like paint, but much thicker and more durable, into a flexible, seamless, rubbery, or polymer layer. They might be used differently. Sometimes they're the final walking surface, sometimes they're installed underneath tiles or other finishes, but the goal is the same: protect that substructure from water.
Got it. Membranes and liquids. Good to know. And we absolutely have to talk about railings and stairs. They're not just decoration, are they? They're critical safety features.
Oh, absolutely critical.
Yeah.
They're the first line of defense against falls, so they're not just tacked on. They have to be engineered systems that meet strict safety codes, height requirements, spacing between balusters so kids can't slip through, and crucially, they have to withstand specific load forces. You see a lot more modern options now, like aluminum railings, maybe with glass panels.
Yeah, those look sleek.
They do, and they're popular because they meet those tough safety standards while also being really low maintenance and durable. You might even see custom welded aluminum for a really precise fit and finish. Safety and style working together.
Now, even with the best materials and build, things age. How does someone know if their existing deck needs more than just a clean? When does it need professional help?
You really have to keep an eye out for warning signs, especially signs that water is getting where it shouldn't. Look for any boards that feel soft or spongy underfoot. That's a classic sign of rot. Wiggle the railings. Check the stairs. Are they loose, wobbly? That could mean fasteners are failing or the wood around them is decaying.
What else?
Any visible pooling water on the deck surface after rain is a red flag for drainage issues. Look for warped or uneven boards, and check the metal parts, screws, bolts, connectors. Are they rusted or heavily corroded? Ignoring these things, well, it just lets the damage get worse, often hidden within the structure. A small repair now can prevent a massive, expensive restoration project later.
That makes sense. Catch it early. Okay, zooming out slightly, the sources mention large-scale projects like for strata complexes or multi-unit buildings. How does building, say, 20 balconies differ from one backyard deck?
Oh, it's a whole different level of complexity. Logistically, it's huge. You need meticulous project management to coordinate work across multiple units, often while people are living there. Communication is absolutely key. Constant updates for property managers, strata councils, residents. Minimizing disruption is a major goal.
And I imagine the demands on durability are even higher.
Definitely. Durability goes from being a nice-to-have to an absolute requirement. These are high-traffic areas. So for strata projects, you almost always see those certified commercial-grade waterproofing systems like the membranes we talked about. The risk and liability of leaks across multiple units is just too high otherwise. Plus, these projects often include long-term maintenance plans and regular inspections built in. They need to ensure continued safety and compliance over many years.
Right, scale changes everything. Okay, so wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems clear. The experts are really pointing towards choosing these modern, low-maintenance materials like composite or vinyl and insisting on that rigorous, professional, 5-phase construction process.
That really sums it up. Long-term success is basically locked in by those upfront choices. Get the process right with certified safety checks, and make that smart investment in materials that reduce future work composite for easy upkeep, or vinyl if maximum structural protection is the goal.
And financially, it sounds like we need to think beyond the initial price tag. The real driver for material choice should be the total cost of ownership, including the maintenance or lack thereof over the next 10, 20 years.
Exactly. That upfront investment in modern materials, it buys you decades of convenience, preserves the structure, and likely saves you money and major headaches in the long run.
Today's smart decision prevents tomorrow's big problem.
Couldn't have said it better.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. If these specialized waterproofing systems, like seamless vinyl, are specifically engineered to create a barrier that protects the entire substructure, how much hidden damage, compounding slowly over years, might be happening right now under a standard deck surface wood, or even gapped composite completely out of sight? Makes you think about what's really holding up your outdoor space, doesn't it?